Okay. My earlier video about making a CD image with ImgBurn, there's a problem with doing that. So instead, I'm going to use ImgBurn. All right, so I already downloaded and installed it. You got to be careful where you download it from, because I guess there's a few sites with malicious software. The program's somewhat old, but doesn't really matter. It still works the same way. I'm on a Windows 10 system, but it will work the same way as on XP, XP 7, 8, Vista, and so on. All right, so I start up the program. All right, and just as a test, this is the Avalon Hill Game Series. I'm going to do their Advanced Civilization CD. So we're going to do write image file to disk. So I got it in the CD drive, which would be drive D. No, wait a minute, I got the wrong one. All right, wait a minute, I'm going to start it up again. Wait, ImgBurn. All right, here we go. Create image file from disk. So I got the CD in drive D, and we're going to create an image file, which will be an ISO file. Just to give you a little more, I actually have everything in a directory called dosgames. It's directly off of the C drive, a top-level folder. So this is going to be all these files. All right, so create image file from disk. All right, so as you see, that's the D. You hear a little spinning. Tells you it's an ISO 9660, which is a type of file system. It actually gives a destination, but we're going to change that. We're going to put it into dosgames. All right, it comes up with an advanced that's the same as the label. So advanced civ, it's going to be an ISO. So we click save. And then you go and click here. Gives you a bunch of information about what it is. All right, so now it's actually doing it. It's actually it's actually making a full image of the disk. The reason why I switched to ImgBurn from ImgBurn is for some reason I couldn't, even though I was picking files and folders, it just wasn't working right. So there's something else on the CD that it was missing. Even though it would install when you go to play the game, it just won't start up. So this is actually taking a full image of the CD and it's making it into an ISO file. Now, what we're going to do, the other part of this is DosBox. So you just download and install DosBox, and then within that, you're going to do two things. One is you're going to mount your folder as the C drive, and then two, you're going to mount this ISO as the D drive. The reason why it's needed for games like Advanced Civilization and Third Reich and anything else in the computer series is that as part of its copy protection, when it starts up, it looks to see if the CD is there. All right, so it finished. And you look and you see now we got the image file. All right, so that's all I'm going to... Actually, no, I'm going to continue on. I mean, if you only care about making an ISO file, that's all you needed. Okay. So actually, since we're going to continue on, all right. So we're going to use DosBox. We're going to start DosBox. All right, wait a minute. Let me move the window over. Okay. First thing, we got to mount the folder. right, so basically what it is, that's just a little sound blaster command. First thing is we got to get a C drive. So we're going to mount the DOS games folder as the C drive. All right. So now within DosBox, if I go to C and I do a directory, it acts like I'm on a C drive and DOS games folder is the actual C, which is fine. And if you look, you actually see the Advanced Civilization ISO here. All right. Second part. Now, if you look under DosBox mount command, which I'll put a link in the description, you could either mount the CD directly or you could mount the image directly, or you could mount the image of the CD. I would recommend, if you're doing this, that you always mount the image. Basically, the reason for that is because the CD is vulnerable to scratches and every other problem. So after you make an ISO file of it, you can just put it away. So the next one is we're going to all right, so here we have a whole DosBox advanced mounting, and you see, so that's what we did to mount the game to C. Now, all right, so if you were going to mount the CD directly, you do this: mount D. In my machine, it would be D:\\T space CD-ROM. But we're not going to do that because we don't want to use the CD anymore. Instead, we're going to mount an image. So we're going to do the command like this. So, all right, so we're going to do img, img mount. We're going to mount it as a D. Then what we do is we do the full path as it is within the DOS machine. So advanced civ. One thing on this command, and I'm not sure, I had trouble using it, and I think I was putting ISO after the -T in capitals, and I think it doesn't work. I think it all has to be in small letters. All right, so this is the command to mount the image as an ISO type file. Okay, all right, it worked. All right, so all right, here we do C:, run the C drive. We see everything we would expect to see if we were on a regular DOS machine. I do D:, and this is the actual CD as an ISO file mounted as the D drive. All right, so now I'm going to do it in, all right, wait, for, okay. So now I'm doing the install from the mount CD. So we're going to enter Avalon. We'll make it civ. All right, we'll call it AV civ. One thing on this, I would recommend keeping file names to 8 characters or less. The reason being is that it's an old DOS standard, and that way it will just display simply with the file names. It won't use the sort of wavy line tide symbol for doing it. All right, and then here, oh, if you noticed in the other window, it actually created the directory right there, which is good. All right, so then we're going to do a tab and a space bar, because what we might as well install everything. All right, so now it's installing. All right, so the end result is going to be, if I, within DosBox, if I go to this AVCIV directory and I type the batch command to start it up, it will see the CD there for its copy protection. It will start playing music. And then it will stop playing the game like it normally would. There's also, I believe, a command you can make it into full screen. If you look more into the DosBox, you can actually see that there's a bunch of there's like an autoexec.bat file for it. And what I've done in the past, I've actually, once I got the commands the way I wanted to, I made another file to call that batch file. Or no, I made a special autoexec file to start that up so it would actually, mount everything as it needed to be, and then also go into the right directory and start up the game. Doing this, I assume because of the emulation, it's a little bit slow. Actually, at this point, I don't even need the CD in the drive, so I'm just taking it out. So it actually demonstrates that I'm actually running off of an image. I don't even have it in the computer anymore. You can actually, at this point, you can store it away. A bunch of information. You can read through it if interested. All right. So I'm just going to pick the defaults for the MIDI and the digital audio. So I just pick the first one. Say automatic. All right. The digital. Pick the first one. Now do done. Okay. So now we got it. So ADV, civil. And as you see, it's starting up. All right, so at this point, it's just a regular game like you would on the regular machine.